Warriors, a critical meeting in cryptocurrency today. Watch all the way through. My name is Coach JB. I am the top health and mindset coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. Warriors, this is critical times right now. There's a critical meeting going on today. Now I'm going to give you the narrative, their narrative, and I'm going to give you my narrative. Remember, don't do what they say, do what they do. So I'm going to share with you the political theater as we go through this. So a lot of people have been asking how to join our private warrior academy, crypto exit strategy. We're really focused on the long-term warriors. And if you wait till the end, I'm going to give you my speech and what I think you should be doing if you're new to crypto. And if you're existing in crypto, I'm going to give you both of those scenarios right now because we're here to educate you. We're working to help you build generational wealth. That is our goal here at the Warrior Academy. Okay, so you can click the description down below. You can join our private Warrior Academy. Our only real Instagram pages are down below, so make sure you follow us on Instagram. And I think that's all we got. We got free Discord. We got Facebook as well. So let's jump right into it. So why the Fed Jackson Hole meeting matters for Bitcoiners today. So I want to bring this up to you guys and really help you understand something really quickly. I got a comment. Somebody said, "Oh, you're not doing XRP videos every single day." It's the same thing right now. It's the same thing with the case. I'm going to continue to bring you XRP news when it comes, but I want to continue. This is how I started my channel, is sharing economics and how it connects to assets and cryptocurrency. I'm going to bring you the cryptocurrency news that is super critical to you making decisions, making your own decisions, right? I want to give you a fishing pole. You know, I could tell you about the XRP case every single day. It's the same thing right now. We're waiting for some news to come. BitBoy Crypto says it's still going to end in September, so I'm staying with that narrative. I believe what I believe that he has some insight. We'll see what happens. So he's predicted some pretty wild stuff, but this type of stuff is economics. This is what's happening within the world. This is how the big dogs make their decisions. Okay, so I don't think you should be making your financial decisions off a bunch of 50 different YouTubers, to include myself, right? Without understanding economics and how the billionaires make their moves. And now I'm working with my mentor, Ken Mack. And so now I'm getting access to the mindset of somebody who's $500 million, and they think differently than us. They think differently than us, whereas they're all running towards freedom. They are sprinting towards freedom, and they're not holding on to cash. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why. Okay. So why this Jackson Hole show matters for Bitcoiners. So what the Jackson Hole meeting, Jerome Powell is going to be speaking up today. So when Jerome Powell steps up at the podium on Friday, the Federal Reserve's annual economic symposium held virtually this year, but traditionally Jackson Hole meeting is in Wyoming. Okay. Many market participants expect the Fed chair to announce a date and pace for tapering its $120 billion a month in bond purchases. But the dominance of the Delta variant of the C word makes such a pronouncement less certain. Did I say that correctly? Some economist says. Okay, so basically he's going to be doing a little speech at the Jackson Hole meeting, right? And he's going to supposed to be talking about, are they going to start tapering the bond purchases? Now, what does that mean? Let me show you a chart here. Okay. So I did a deep presentation for our warriors yesterday on our warrior call. So we have a private warrior call every Thursday. We have multiple calls throughout the week. Now I did a very deep presentation for them. A lot of the stuff I can't go over on my channel here because what will happen, right? So I do deep presentations for them on a weekly basis, really showing what I think is happening with the whole narrative. And I've been right ever since I've done my YouTube channel, which has been pretty cool. The only things I haven't been right with is anything outside of economics. All the presidential stuff I was not right on, but I stick to what I know. Okay. I have a executive banking degree from CBA, know how to scale banks. I understand economics. I got to be in the banking system, and it makes sense to me, I guess. So I stay in my lane, right? So here is the chart for the Federal Reserve bond purchases. Okay. So the Federal Reserve has significantly added to its portfolio of Treasury securities. Okay. So this is in billions of dollars. So the red is the notes and bonds. Look at from July 7th to July 21st, Warriors. July 7th, July 21st. Now, another thing you need to think about is the debt ceiling, right? They're in summer session right now, right? The world's completely falling apart, and they're in summer session right now. They should be shouldn't they be working overtime? No, we'd probably have to pay them. They take it anyways. Uh, but when they come back, they have to make a decision on the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling was supposed to be decided on August 1st. Right now, the debt ceiling is 22 trillion, right? We're at 28 trillion right now. And the debt ceiling had a suspension from July 2019 to August 1st, 2021. So ask yourself a question. Why did they create a suspension where they could just go above the debt ceiling from 2019 to 2021? Isn't that a weird time period? All of a sudden, they would have a debt suspension so you can run hot on the debt. And then last year, this is what I presented to my Warriors yesterday, is all of a sudden last year, Jerome Powell throws out a flexible inflation rate. They're running inflation hot. They're running debt hot, bond purchases hot. Okay, so why is this meeting really, really important? So why should we be concerned around cryptocurrency? Okay, this is why, Warriors. So this is March 11th, 2020. Remember what happened? C word started to get really hot, right? It came out in January. By March, lives were changing. By June, we had our business shut down. We had lost 78% of our revenue. We have a physical gym here in Arizona. And look what happened, Warriors. Okay, so remember these dates. I'm going to teach you the game. Okay, around the 2019, they suspended the debt ceiling. So they could run hot on the debt ceiling. Then all of a sudden, C comes in, right, in January. By March, they start running quantitative easing hot, 4.3 trillion, March 11th, 2020. And by June 22nd, $7.94 trillion. Okay. So why is this important for you to understand being a cryptocurrency juggernaut? Okay. This right here, as this continues to rise, and this Jackson Hole meeting that's happening right now, why you should be paying attention to this stuff and not just what is happening with just XRP today, right? Or the court case. And this is really important because if they start to taper this, Warriors, guess what? Guess what? That's going to create some massive volatility in the market. It's going to start to bring the market down. Because what does this mean? Do you see all this money coming up right here? What this means is the Cantillon effect. When they're printing, the rich people are pouring into assets. And what it's going to do, it's going to create a bubble. What that does is it brings the crypto market up or any type of market up. I mean, look at the stock market. It's overvalued by 238% based on the Warren Buffett indicator. Why? Because companies have a valuation. I mean, well, so think about this. Our stock market is overvalued by 238%, and the gross domestic product hasn't even really increased. Think about that. So these companies are billion-dollar valuation that haven't put any GDP into the system or any type of gross domestic product into the system or grown the system. So this is what you need to understand. You need to pay attention to these things like the Jackson Hole meeting. If they're going to taper bonds, if they taper bonds, that is going to be non-bullish. It's going to be bearish for the market. It's going to start to pull the market down. Okay, so let's go a little bit further here, okay? Now, I don't think that he is going to taper. Here's why. They can't. They can't taper right now. Here's why. Because this and because this, okay? You have an overvalued stock market. I mean, we're so fragile right now. They have to increase the debt ceiling in order for us to continue to pay Social Security, veterans benefits. So think about that. If they don't increase the debt ceiling, again, they're not going to be able to pay benefits. They're not going to be, I mean, it's the worst position we could be in right now. So top House Republicans signals GOP lawmakers won't support lifting the debt ceiling and instead force Democrats to renew U.S. ability to pay their bills. The U.S. cannot pay its bills. We have to borrow to pay our bills. Let me repeat that. The U.S. cannot pay their bills. We have to borrow money to pay our bills. Look at this. Look at this. Bond purchases. We have to borrow or we have to buy bonds to pump this. Okay. So if he tapers today, you're going to see a massive downswing in the markets. If he just says, hey, we're going to leave things the same, you're going to see a massive uptick in the market because that means the printing machine is going to continue to go. Here's what I think is going to happen. Okay. So let me read to you what tapering is because I want to educate you on this. So tapering is a term used to describe the process of gradually stopping asset purchases where there is no predefined end or date amount. Tapering does not involve the outright sale of treasury agencies or MBS, by the Fed. It only means reducing purchases to zero The Fed likes to signal its intentions around the tapering its quantitative easing program well in advance to minimize the impact of the markets. Although in the past, the prospect of tapering has unsettled the markets, we expect it to become more orderly this time around. Why would they expect that? As the markets have been through this experience before. Nonetheless, it's important for investors to understand the process. Okay, this is why I'm sharing this with you guys. Hell no. It's not going to be, it's going to pull back if he tapers, if he says tapering. We're emotional creatures, warriors. We're emotional creatures. So pay attention to this meeting today. I don't think he's going to decide to taper because of all this, warriors. We're going into the Delta variant, right? Now we have a debt ceiling that needs to be raised, right? I bet you there's gonna be a halting in between the parties. I guarantee it's gonna be this weird end of the year, just a weird political end to the year. Okay, so I want to make sure we walk through this again. So Jackson Hole meeting, he's gonna make remarks, and if he says he's gonna taper, get ready for the market to pull back. If he says, "Oh, we're gonna continue the same as we are," then the markets are gonna continue to be bullish. Okay, and this is why bonds purchases. Okay, this is your how much money's been printed in the system since March 2020. Okay. The debt ceiling, they say about October 1st, they won't be able to pay their bills. How crazy is that? They can't pay we have to borrow money to pay the bills. You would be in jail if you did that. You realize that, right? Okay. So let's go right here. And there's another thing that is pretty interesting happening right now. Like, this is what we need to pay attention to, warriors, because this affects our assets. So Supreme Court blocks Biden's administration's eviction moratorium. Congress never gave the CDC the staggering amount of power it claims, a group of landlords argued. So basically what Biden did to extend the rent moratorium is he gave CDC power to extend the rent moratorium based on I think the Delta variant coming out. So you got the rent moratorium not being extended. People are going to be getting evicted from their homes, right? So that's going to give them an excuse to keep QE, quantitative easing, right? In order to do QE, they need to keep purchasing bonds, right? They need to borrow more money to increase the debt ceiling. We're screwed. Not us, but you just need to know the orders, right? And then this was a really cool article on August 25th. So as cash will soon be obsolete, will America be ready? So this is the conversations that are happening at the high levels, warriors. And it's an interesting time right now, and I just want to bring this information to you guys. So you see me never say, hit the notification button or like, subscribe, comment, or leave a comment. But the reason why I do that is I'm not really here to gain popularity. I'm here to share information. I'm here to give you the tools and resources you need to be successful. And of course, to reach more people would help us do that, right? But I'm just looking for the select few. Here's what I believe. I believe out of 100 people, there's one warrior. I've always said that. I call it the 10% rule. There's one warrior out of 100 people. Those are the people I'm looking for. I'm looking for those people who are not caught up in this narrative, who are not looking this way, who are starting to turn their head this way and just want to grow a little bit, who want to shift the generation, who want to stop talking about left and right and up and down and finally do something for their family. But this type of stuff is really boring, warriors. It's not exciting. But for people to say that there's not something financially coming, it's foolish. You have a stock market, like I said, overvalued by 238%. Our government can't even pay their own debt. They have to borrow more money to pay for government, like the Social Security, for the veterans benefits, things like that. Those are the most expensive things we have on the docket, warriors. A a military. These are things that we won't be able to pay. China is a financial superpower right now. Our GDP is negative, debt to income ratio, basically. We're in a really weird position. So this is why the billionaires are buying assets. This is why Michael Saylor is trying to convince all these CEOs to get in Bitcoin. This is why Tesla, is buying Bitcoin. This is why Ray Dalio says cash is trash. This is why Warren Buffett backed out of a bunch of bank stocks, only increased his position in Bank of America and bought into Nubank, right? He's not into cryptocurrency, but he bought into Nubank that is a crypto-friendly bank, right? The Nubank, I think, is IPOing soon. I think one or a partner of Nubank or Nubank is IPOing. So they're all strategically moving towards fintech. That's why Jamie Dimon, okay, the CEO of Chase, JP Morgan, said that banks should be scared shitless of fintech, financial technology. That's why JP Morgan has stocks now in Coinbase. That's why Intel has stocks in Coinbase. Whereas the money printing machine, the casino is moving over to cryptocurrency, warriors. So we are so early in this space. Now, let me share with you guys my sentiment on what I wanted to bring up with you guys. Okay, so there's two types of investors right now. If you're new or you're just finding my channel and you're getting into cryptocurrency and you're existing, I'm going to give you two scenarios. So number one, if you're coming in at a little bit higher prices right now. Okay, so I don't want you to get disappointed when you see a parabolic move and maybe you put $1,000 into crypto and you make a couple $1,000 and you're expecting, because a bunch of YouTubers out there saying you're going to become rich overnight or become a millionaire overnight. That could happen in some cryptocurrencies. Like, that's why they're saying XRP. The reason why we believe XRP is going to be one of the biggest bull runs in history is because it's pulled back so tight. It hasn't hit its all-time high, right? Which is somewhere around three, give or take, around 373, I think. So it hasn't $3.73. So it's pulled back tight, right? We have the lawsuit. And so when that gets released, you're going to see some massive price appreciation. So that is a crypto that you may, not financial advice, see some massive price appreciation. But a lot of the cryptocurrencies have hit their all-time high already. So you're buying pretty much the all-time high. So what you're going to see is a parabolic move, and then it's going to come sliding back down, just like the tapering piece, okay? So if I was getting into crypto right now at this time, I would probably focus on things like I would focus on just a long-term investment. That's what I would focus on. I would start to think long-term. Now, if you've been in crypto for a while, we've been in for about a year and 8 months now, and we got in at very low prices, and so we've made some good money, right? We've seen some pullbacks, we've seen some dips, we bought the dips, we've sold the euphoria, bought the fear, and we've done really well in crypto. Okay, but we also in our academy, people have been doing it for a while, have a very strict exit plan. So you want to exit the market if you choose to. I'm exiting 50% of my portfolio, but I'm buying into cash generating assets or wealth preservation assets. I'm currently staying away from the US dollar. In my opinion, I have to use the US dollar to, do business and stuff like that. But I just want you to start, my whole community, I want you to start thinking long term. We're going to help build a platform, or we have the platform now, but continue to add to it, continue to educate you on a long term game. So think about this. If you can stay patient and persistent for 3 years, cut out frivolous spending, drive some Postmates, do something to generate some extra cash flow, you could completely change your life in the next 3 years. I'm also in a high level mentorship, and I'll be bringing that information down to the people so that we can provide freedom. That's what we're here to do, warriors. So I'm going to continue to bring my cryptocurrency news, but I'm also going to continue to dive deeper into economics. I know it's not as exciting as the other videos or telling you that cryptocurrency is going to, make you a multi-millionaire, but I want to teach you how to fish, right? Jesus said, you give a man or woman a fish, they'll eat for a day. You give them a fishing pole, they'll eat for a lifetime. You teach them how to farm, they will feed a nation. So warriors, I'm going to continue to bring you these deep dive videos. I'm going to teach you economics at the level that I know, but I also would love to hear in the comments how you're feeling, or if there's anything that maybe I said incorrectly, we can educate and learn and grow together. So everything you need is description down below. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. As we always say, warriors rise. Let's go.